that. Okay. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You
Yes,
can
sir.
see my Revit screen.
Yes, sir.
No.
I'm showing my Revit screen. I'm scrolling. Can you see it?
But
It's showing.
I can see it.
You can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Me, I can see it.
Yes, it
I
is
can
showing.
also see it.
Michael,
Yeah, okay, one can. Yeah, I've seen
you
it.
can
Now.
also see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. What we are saying about Revit is this one. We've come from far, okay, from the drawing board, okay, where we draw, we use T-square and adjustable set square to draw. We use pencil, then after that, we take tracing paper and then rapidograph with different pen sizes and then draft what we use pencil to draw. At the end of the day, we produce several sheets of drawings, we put them together and submit it for permit or for construction to deliver work. That stage was there. I think some people are still using drawing board to draft and then to deliver work, whereby they do this blueprint stuff and then get work delivered. Then we moved on to CAD, computer-aided design. When the CAD came at fresh, it was mere 2D drafting tool, 2D drawing. So which means that you can draw lines, you can add colors to them, you can add line patterns to them, you can add line widths to them. So you can draw different lines to represent walls, different lines to represent grid, different lines to represent windows, different lines to represent furniture, different lines to represent electrical, mechanical, and plumbing drawings. So people were using basically lines to draw almost every aspect of the building. So if you want to draw a WC, then it means that you have to pick a lot of lines and then combine them together to draw a WC. Then when you finish drawing the WC, then you convert it into a block and then give that block a name. So that anytime you want a WC, you can go and pick that block and then use them. So in the CAD environment, you only be drawing lines, then you work on a block of libraries to do your composition. That was the two-dimensional. And if you want to print, you have to set up your papers, set up views, scale the views, and then put them on the sheets. People were using ways and means to scale their drawings. In AutoCAD, there was something we call layout. So if you've used AutoCAD before, we see we have the model view, then we have the layout view. Ideally, if you are working with AutoCAD and you are using it properly, you do all your work in the model views. Then when you want to set up sheets, you see people properly, you use the layout to create different sheets so that you can manage your views on those sheets. But most people did not understand the layout system. So what they will do is that within the same model, they will create all the sheets that they need. Later on, I'll show you samples at the right time. They will create all the sheets that they need within one model view. Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, and normally arrange them in a nice grid. And when they are ready to print, they will draw a window over each sheet and then print it out. It had serious challenges because if you have different scales that you want to print and different view scales that you want to print, it became a challenge. And if you are to print from different sheet sizes, maybe one set you want to print it in A3, another set you want to print in A2 or A4, then it becomes very, very challenging. But at the end of the day, you can use computer as a drafting tool, draw lines, different type of lines together, put colors to them, put language to them, and draw out drawing, prepare sheets, let's say 5 sets of sheets, 5 pages, 10 pages, 15 pages. Some projects can be very complicated, 50 pages, 100 pages. You arrange them, you print them, you get a project done. Those days too passed. Then came in AEC, AutoCAD, AEC, architecture engineering and construction elements that we use in drawing. So within the AEC sector, you are not working with line work anymore. You are not working with basic geometry line work, no. But this time around, you pick a wall, AEC wall, we call it AEC wall in AutoCAD architecture. And with the AEC wall, you can pick a wall, give it a wall height, give the wall a thickness, and then draw out walls layout instead of using lines to draw walls. You understand what I'm saying? And you can pick a window and then place it in the wall. You can pick a door, size it, place it in the wall. You can do anything with it. At the end of the day, you can model a whole building using AEC walls, AEC floors, AEC beams, AEC columns, AEC roof, AEC fascia, AEC, almost all the building components that you can think about. There were provisions made for them within the AEC to model a building. And before we came to the AEC, if you are not working with AEC and you are working in generic AutoCAD, that one, you are not using walls, you are not using windows. So if you want to get a 3D object, then you have to model it yourself using what you call solid modeling. So you have to model your own windows, you have to model your own columns, you have to model your own whatever using solid modeling. Those times have passed. Then the AEC came. So with the AEC, you can draw a railing. Then you can see the baluster, you can see the rails, you can see everything, you can edit them, you can get it done. So with that one, you can work on a building project, not drawing lines, not drawing 3D geometry or 2D geometry. But with the AEC, you pick specific building elements and use them. If it is a column, you use it as a column. If it is a beam, you use it as a beam. If it is a stairs, you use it as a stair. You can also use it to do documentation, do drafting, create a sheet, populate the sheet, and then print them. Within the AutoCAD space or AutoCAD architecture space, when you are doing the AEC, you can do architecture model in a different AutoCAD architecture. If you want to do structure, there's a structural detailing software. If you want to do civil, there's Autodesk 3D Civil software. If you want to do mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, there is also AutoCAD Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing. We call it AutoCAD MEP. That you can also use to model all these things. And the main challenge with AutoCAD was that the views were segregated, the management of sheets was very complicated, and if you want to work in a team, please, especially if 2 or more people went to work on a project together and then get it delivered, it was a big challenge in AutoCAD. What BIM presents, we call it Building Information Modeling. The best AutoCAD could do for us was to help us create a 3D model. Then from that 3D model, you can generate your 2D drafting views. You can also create your rendering views from it. Interior renderings, exterior renderings, daytime renderings, nighttime renderings. You can put in your interact, your cars, your trees, your people. You can do all those things and then render them. But when it comes to Revit, you can do more than modeling the 3D and then rendering. AutoCAD and AutoCAD architecture terminates at rendering to 3D model and then 3D rendering. But if you want to use a BIM software, you begin from a 3D model. Then you can then generate your 2D views from the 3D model, and then you can use it to populate your sheet. So when we are working in Revit, ideally, you are not doing 2D drafting. You are really modeling the building actually. If it is wall, you are modeling the wall. If it's foundation wall, you are modeling the foundation wall. If it is a brick wall, you are modeling a brick wall. If it is a pipe that you are laying out to connect your WCs, your sinks, and your wash hand basins, you are drawing real pipes to get it. So if you understand plumbing as a building industry professional and you understand the concept of plumbing, pipe sizes, pipe fittings, pipe accessories, you can easily model a plumbing project without any wahala. But if you don't understand plumbing, you cannot model the plumbing system. If you understand construction, you can model the building three-dimensionally with Revit, get it properly modeled, and get a 3D model done. So the first step in Revit is that you must be in a position to do a very good model. That is the starting point, minimal. If you cannot do the model, then it means that you cannot move on to the next stage. So the model is the first thing that we need to be able to model, as in the building model. And that model can be architectural model. It can be structural model. It can be mechanical model. Mechanical as in plumbing, air conditioning, HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. It can be electrical, all aspects of electrical and electronics. You can model all of them. It can be plumbing, all aspects of plumbing. You can model all of them. It can be landscape, the site, the topography, the road network, the pavement, the trees, everything. You should be able to model it. If you want to model it, you can, because you are not the only person who is using Revit to model. Everybody in the whole world, we are all using the same tool. It is your decision to understand the tool and then use the tool well so that you can model well. That is your own choice. If you don't master the tool, then you use it anyhow. Like you are driving a car and you're always in the first gear, you limit yourself as to what you can do. But if you can drive the car well, move from first gear to second gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, you can go reverse, you can drive daytime, you can drive at night. If you have control in that manner, then you can use the tool very well. Now, after you've done the model, all the things you're able to do with AutoCAD architecture, all the things you're able to do with traditional AutoCAD, that is the 2D drafting, generating your site plan, your block plan, your block layout, your site layout, your general arrangement drawings. I'm talking of all systems, both architecture, structures, mechanical, plumbing, everything. If you want to generate all the floor plans, all the sheets, all the views, all the legends, all the schedules, Revit presents to you an opportunity that you can do all those things from the 3D model that you have done. So from the 3D model, you can render and get visualization. From the 3D model, you can produce working drawings. From the 3D model, you can do animation. From the 3D model, you can do 3D printing. From the 3D model, you can do construction model. From the 3D model, you can do anything. That is what Revit is meant for. Now, in the world of BIM that we call building information modeling, beyond the 3D, you can use Revit to do so many other things, including 4D. If you say 4D, this time around, we are moving beyond the 3D. We are not talking about the physical three-dimensional form of the building, that you can assign materials, that you can generate section. No. Beyond the physical three-dimensional form, you can add cost to the building. So every single building component, you can add cost value to it. So you can cost all the windows, you can cost all the walls, you can cost all concrete, you can cost roof, you can cost roof members, truss members, everything, and then get the cost of the building. That is within the realm of the quantity surveyors, you understand, or the building technology people. They can put a cost to all these buildings within a 4D environment. That 4D that you want to work on, Revit does not do that. You can't use Revit to do 4D. There are other softwares that you can use to do 4D, but those softwares are going to depend highly on the Revit model that you have done. So if the Revit model that you have done is a good model, then it means that the quantity surveyor can take the Revit model, open it in another software that is basically designed for quantity surveyors, and then use that Revit model to generate all the quantities and takeoff that is needed of the model digitally instead of doing it manually, because that information has already been embedded in the 3D model that you did. But if you do a 3D model and you only focus on the 3D model and you don't attach information to the model, that is the eye in the bin. If you do not attach any information to the model, so that you take a window and then you just place a window. If you want to put a cost value to it, then it means that you can select the window and then put a cost value to it. So when the quantity surveyor sees the window, he knows the cost you want to put to it. But if you put a cost to it too, he can pick it and then use it. But if you do not put a cost to it, then there's no way when the quantity surveyor loads the Revit file into his software, he can get the cost value. It won't be there. So, but before you can add the cost, which is the 4D, you must understand the 3D model, then you can add on the 4D. Another concept for the BIM is called 5D. Beyond the 3D, another one is 5D. That is time, project planning or project phasing. From the start to the completion point of the project, you can phase any project. So you can say phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, especially in our part to execute project very fast. So you can say phase 1, let us do the foundation level. Phase 2, let us do the structure. Phase 3, so this phasing and project management, that is somebody's specialty. So somebody is a project manager who is managing a project. He will also need the Revit model that you have worked on. The cost input that was done by the quantity surveyor, he also needs those ones. And then he will use it to manage the project. So he will set up project timelines. He can combine it with any project management software, take all the cost data, and then manage the project. That one is for project management to get it successfully done. Then we can go to 6D. 6D is fabrication. After having done all the building component, having done all the project management, they want to erect the buildings. Some aspect of the building will be provided by specialist consultants, by different manufacturers, by different suppliers. All these people that are going to supply these buildings to the drawing site, they will also need an aspect of the building project documentation to use it to fabricate maybe the railings, to fabricate maybe sun shading devices, to fabricate special columns, to fabricate some things that you cannot do on site. All those drawings too, they will need all those things to do all those fabrication. 7D, you can go to facilities management. When you do the building, then you hand the building over to somebody. So the dimensions of the module used in BIM is now unlimited. So you can talk of 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D, 10D, depending upon what you are using the model for. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
if this is what you are going to use the model for, then the first principle and what should concern you is how to do a good model. And this course that we are doing, I'm only introducing you how to do a good model. That's what we are doing. So at the end of the day, you should be able to model neatly, generate your views, generate your sessions, and then go on. And then produce your sheet, and then at least print out a PDF that presents your work. So that's what BIM is about. So if you have a question about BIM, I can come in again. But let me add on to the BIM issue too. There's something we call integrated project delivery. Integrated project delivery. You see, we have different project delivery forms. We have design, bid, build, whereby the project is given to a design team, maybe the architect or engineering team, then they'll do the design. When they finish, then they'll go and do bidding, traditional bidding. Then everybody will submit their tender, and then get the bidding done. Then they select a contractor. And then when they do the bidding and finishing, then they go and do the execution, where we have the build. Then the contractor will go to the site and build. We give you separate process. If you do project management and if you look at this tendering process, there's another one called integrated project delivery. With the integrated project delivery, all the team members, all the professionals, the clients, everybody who has interest in the project, we call them project stakeholders or project interest group, all of them will come together and form a consortium and form a team and then manage the project at a very high level. And if you want to do integrated project delivery, building information modeling is a requirement. So if you want to do integrated project delivery, then it means that you must implement BIM. And if you want to implement BIM, Revit is one of the basic authoring software that you can use to be part of the BIM process. It is the beginning, it is the starting point, it is not the end, because you can use Revit to do other things. But if you do not get your information modeling right in Revit, if you don't get the concept right in Revit, then you use Revit anyhow. Then using Revit for other intended purposes, like 4D, like 5D, like 6D, like 7D, can be very challenging. For instance, if you do a very bad model, then you know that the model you did was bad. And as such, if you cut a section through the model, and the section is not giving you the results you should expect to see, then you take a bold step and take field regions and then draw two-dimensional field regions to scatter all your sections. If you have 15 sections, what time can you get to do those editing? If you have 2 sections, then there's a change in the project. What time are you going to get to edit all the 2D drawings that you've done? It becomes challenging. So please, those of you who are using detail items like hatch patterns to hide the details of their model should desist from it and then insist on doing very good model for proper project delivery. So that is my take on the BIM. If you have any question, you can ask on BIM. Hello.
Hi.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
If you have any
Sir.
question on BIM that beats your imagination, you can ask me. And how it relates to Revit. Foster. Any question? Barman.
Sir.
Any question?
About using the detail line. Sometimes if you cut a section,
Please, who is
you
speaking?
find difficult. This Foster.
Uh-huh.
About using the detail line.
Speak out a bit.
I said about using the detail line. Sometimes if you cut a section through your building, you will not get all the information correctly the way you like it. So you have to use detail line to detail some parts.
Did
So
you
that is
model
why.
your building well? That's the first question you should ask yourself. Because the section that you generate from a Revit file is a live section. So if you cut a section and you know, say, what you are seeing is not what you are expecting, then you have to check your model again. You don't expect to see rafters in your section if you've not modeled rafters. You don't expect to see rich piece or fascia in your section if you've not modeled it. So you model a roof and you do not model fascia. You model a roof, you model fascia, you do not add the roof surface. When you take a section, how do you expect to see the surface there? You can't see it.
That's my challenge.
So the issue is that now, which means that you need to work on your model more.
Yes.
Anything that is physical, anything that is three-dimensional must be modeled.
Okay.
Sure.
So if it is three-dimensional, then you don't model it. Then you rather use a hatch pattern to do it. Then it means you want to do two-dimensional card work. But Revit is not a two-dimensional tool. It's a 3D modeling tool, please. And it is not also just a 3D modeling tool. It is a parametric 3D modeling tool with enhanced features, which you must exploit and understand. You cannot dodge it. You cannot take shortcuts. No. You must understand the principle and then the concept behind it, and then make sure that you do a good model. You've not modeled trust and you want to see trust in your section. It won't work that way. So what you do is that you not model the trust, and then you take section, then you draft the trust. My friend, how can we be using Revit and then we do line work, drawing trusses in 2D? It doesn't make sense. Then go back and use AutoCAD and then do line work. But if you want to use Revit, every building component, every three-dimensional component must be modeled.
Sure.
And if you understand architecture, if you understand construction, if you understand engineering there, Revit gives you tools that you can use to model anything. So if you don't understand the object, that is when you can get a challenge.
Okay.
So everything must be modeled, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Any question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Bama.
Yes, sir, please, actually, today at the office, I had the opportunity to speak to one of the architects there, and he was like, "What's the difference between architecture and then architectural technology?" In fact, I did all my best to explain to him, but it's like he didn't get it well. So, sir, can you throw more light on that for me?
Bama, this is not architecture technology class.
Sir, no, I
By the
just
way,
want
for the benefit of the doubt, let me explain for you.
Yes, sir.
An architect designs a building.
Sure.
And then supervises the construction of the building to the latter. And if you look at the building delivery, it is so many complex parts. It has so many aspects.
Yeah.
And in the modern technological world, so many things are also technology imbibed. Internet connection, everything. So everything is digital now. Almost everything. From door to buildings, to the building itself, to the electricity, to the electronics, everything, to the gates that used to enter the building. Now, when an architect designs a building, there are some details of the building that the architect cannot add to his worries. The architect's interest is in the philosophy and then the concept behind the building, the form of the building. So I want the form to look like this one. Now, when it comes to modeling it, detailing it, drafting it, doing visualization, doing presentation, is way not the object of the architects to do that work. Like, for instance, if you go to a hospital, the medical doctor is there. But apart from the medical doctor, we have nurses with specialized assignments. We have pharmacists with specialized assignments. We have laboratory technologists with specialized assignments. We have X-ray people. We have care areas. We have OPD. Everybody has specialized areas. When it comes to building also, the architect is concerned with the design of the building, one. And then two, the architect is also concerned with the implementation of the building as a project on site. So the architect will be working collaboratively with the government statutory entities like town and country planning, lands commission, business assemblies, to get the building done. But when the architect is going to any of these offices, the architect will present some documents that is related to the building. Those documents, modeling them, documenting them, putting them on sheets, putting them together is the work and the duty of the architectural technologist. To do the 3D model and then detail the model with finishes, with furniture and those things, an architect can do that work, but it is not his duty. Assuming an architect has, say, about 10 projects in an office, 10 big projects, all of them that pays very well. The architect cannot model all the 10 projects. Can he?
No.
Can he?
No, you can't.
No. Can he do the working drawings for all of them?
No.
Can he do the renderings for all of them?
No.
Can he do the animation for all of them? If there's supposed to be 3D printing, can he set up the system, do the 3D printing, and assemble the building all himself as an architect?
No.
No. The architect's role is supervisory. It's at a very higher level. But the architectural technology's role is to fill in the voice that the architect cannot do. And some of those roles are many, including modeling, doing a very good model. An engineer doesn't have, an engineer ideally, an engineer must know how to do a 3D model, or an architect must know how to do a 3D model. But if you take somebody like, say, Zaha Hadid, for instance, she doesn't know how to use a computer to do a 3D model, but she knows how to design and then come out with a building form, and then come up with a concept and think architecturally and manage architecture at that high level. But when you come up with a concept, an idea, and a philosophy, somebody needs to be able to convert the architectural philosophy and the architectural concept into a structural building entity, digital model.
Sure.
And that work needs to be done by somebody. And that person is an architectural technologist. So everything about the building, from the structural, from the architectural, from the mechanical, electrical, heating, ventilation, cooling, anything that affects the building, from the facade, sun shading devices, solar panels, so everything that makes the building work as an entity, it is the duty of the building technologies to understand it and then work with it. So that when the architect sneezes, you must understand what the architect is saying. When the structural engineer coughs, you must understand what the structural engineer is saying. When the mechanical engineer makes a point, you should understand where the mechanical engineer is coming from, because you are the system behind the project delivery. Without the architectural technologist, you cannot implement BIM in an office. Without an architectural technologist, you cannot implement a collaborative setup in an office. Because the architect did not learn anything about technology, he learned about design of buildings. But the computer setup, the network, the softwares, managing libraries, managing templates, managing content, making sure the office runs on a digital system, that is where the architectural technologies come in. The duty of the architect and the duty of the architectural technologies are two separate entities. Am I clear?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
You are good.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you, sir.
further question? No question. Then let's move on to the next
Yes, sir.
item. Whenever you are starting a new project in Revit, you always need a template. It's a must. Whether you like it or not, you always need a template. And anytime you are starting a new project, that new project must be based upon that word, template. And when we say template, what is a template? if you take a Revit project template, what goes into a template? When you are doing a project, at the end of the day, you have at the back of your mind the deliverables of the project. Now, let's talk of it at the basic level, architectural project delivery. You need drawings to show to a client at the sketch design stage on well-designed sheets with well-annotated drawings. You need that one to present to the client. And those drawings, you are not doing just one. For one client, you might be having 1 or 2 projects, and you may be having more clients. So you have maybe 10 clients you work with. You have, say, 20 clients, or you have 3 clients you work with. Any work that you submit to any of these clients must be reflective of you. When anybody sees the work, the presentation, the title block, the font sizes, the font names, the names you've given, your logo, your company details, project details, sheet details, view details, the documentation that you do on the sheet, those standards that you use to present a work to the client, you always do that. If you're a student, you present your work to a studio staff. So you have a set of sheets that are required that you are supposed to present it. You always do that. Project 1, you do those things. Project 2, you do the same thing. Project 3, you do the same thing. So when you work on about 3 projects or 4 projects, you will see the way your workflow is. By that time, you know the number of sheets you need to work on typical project. You have worked out your sheet numbering system. You have worked out your sheet naming system. You have worked out your views, your view naming, how you name your views, how you name your legends, how you create a name legends, create a name schedules, and then populate the sheet and then print. That exercise, it will get to a certain point, you should not be doing that thing again. And then you must focus on the work itself, doing the modeling and then doing the documentation. That is where the template comes in. So at the end of the day, you, the Revit user, must be able to create your own template and then work with it. If by now you don't have your own Revit template that you start a new project with, then it means that you are swimming in the children's swimming pool of Revit. Take note. But if you have your own personal template that when you start a new project with, then it means that you at least you are swimming in the adult pool. Maybe not the deep end, but at least you can swim better. That's the point I'm trying to make. So anytime you are starting a new project, you must always start with your own template. So the first question that I should ask you is that when you start a new project, how do you start in Revit? Which template do you start with? Can you share with me?
Sir, may I start with my own template?
You start with your own template. Okay, who else?
Yes, sir.
Me, are you with
Sir,
me?
yes, I'm with you.
What template do you start with your project?
Sir, I have not created a new template. I just, whenever I want to do some doors, I go to what I've used before.
No, when you are starting a new project,
I don't have a new template.
you don't have a template.
I don't have a template, no, sir.
Purposely.
Hello, sir.
Do you have a template?
Yes, I do, and I think I always update it because of the different projects.
So you
For
have a
instance, if
template.
I have a template,
Okay. Then
and that's what I use.
Mr. Baldwin, do you have a template?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So that's the difference. I beg of all of you, until you get your own custom templates, you always have issues with Revit. And please, the template must be continuously updated, because one thing about Revit is that almost every day you gain new knowledge. Almost every day. when you're able to do project 1, then you do project 2, then you do project 3, by the time you do the 4th project, your knowledge will be way higher than when you're doing project what? Project 1. The more projects you do, the better you become in what? In Revit. So by the time you are doing project 4, you have more sheets, you have more views, you have more loaded libraries, 2D content, 3D content. You've created more legend, you've created more schedules. And when you do all these things, then you can update the template with all those features. So anytime you are starting a new project, you work with the updated template. Always you can update. So, but I bet working with template is beyond the scope of this course that we are trying to do. This is just introductory course. But I beg you, before we go, I'll show you how to create your own template and then work with your own template before we leave, okay?
Sure.
Good. So whenever you start a new project, you go to File, then go to New. If I choose New, a dialog box will pop up saying that create a new project, then 2, select a template file. So if you see here, I have KDA_template. That's in my abbreviations, Kwame Donfel template that I work with. Or I can browse. If I come to browse, this is where my contents are. Where I put title blog, this is where I put template. I can always populate it. If I don't have my own custom content, then what it means is that I must rely on AutoCAD libraries to work with. We go to metric folder. And if you go to the metric, you see that we have Revit 2026, Autodesk Revit 2026. We have the templates folder in this folder here. And within the templates folder, if you open it, there are several other templates which are inside, including English templates and English Imperial templates. When the software was loaded, French templates, German templates, Italian templates, Japanese templates, Korean template, because all these templates, there's no way I'm going to use them. There's no way you are also going to use them. So if you see some of these templates in your folders, they are just occupying and wasting your space. So because I'm teaching, that's why I'm showing you this thing. So it's better you remove all of them and then keep the ones you are using, the default. And in this case, I'm using English. And within the English, if you come in, you see there are several templates that you can start with. Commercial, conceptual sketch, construction, default metric, default US, Canada, plumbing default, plumbing whatever, project detailing default. We have a UK pipe template, system default, different templates for different intents. Most people rely on the default metric here to work in architecture. Others also use the resident, this one. Some use the commercial, at least for the starting point. Please, any of these templates, you can use it to start your work. But when you work and you begin to add content, add sheet, create views, or whatever, at the end of the day, when you do a nice project that you know that, oh, this project, they have done it well, the model is good, my sheets are okay, my views are okay, then you can convert it to a word, template. If you don't get a good project delivered and satisfied with, then it means you can also never be satisfied with your templates. So ideally, you must make the effort, take one project, model it neat, generate the views, generate the sheets, generate the legends, everything, populate it, and then try to print out. When you are done and you're able to achieve that, then from that project, I can guide you how you can create what? A template. If you do a good model, you get a good project, you get a good template. If you do a bad project, you get what? A bad template. But for teaching purposes, I'll start with default metric, and then choose open. So I'm using default metric templates, then I can create a new project and go to OK. So when it starts, it comes up with my Revit user interface. Get very comfortable with the Revit user interface. Before I'll start, let me close the project browser. Let me close the properties palette also. And then leave the page as it is. At the very top here, we have a bar at the top here. We call it the title bar. Title bar at the very top here, where you see the name of the software, the project name, and then the current view that is open, level 1 name, all of them on the title bar. You can see your details with the software, your account details. You can have a search engine here that you can use to search for stuff. Anything you want to search, you can search. You can have your card if you want to subscribe for Autodesk add-ins to add to your, but it's beyond the scope of this course. We have a help file here. If you want help from Revit, you click on it, then it will open a help file for you where you can learn anything about Revit. When it comes to a help file, it is very detailed. Any help that you want, you can search, and then it will give you information on it. If you want to create if you type wall, it will give you so much information about wall, everything about wall that you can search for. About more than 515 pages of links to different aspects of what? Of walls. If you want to go to wall, modify wall, you go to add wall, modify. Just add modifier to the wall and then search. It will give you information as to what you can search with regard to what? Modify walls. So the Autodesk help file is very, very detailed. Please, I beg you, I relied heavily on Autodesk help file here to learn what I know in Revit today. So I will encourage you also to resort to the Autodesk help file anytime the need arises. And then if you go in here, we also have the menu items. Menu items here at the top, from architecture, structure, steel, all the way to the modifier. If you click on each menu item, it gives you some panels at the bottom, spaces, reports and schedules, check systems, color fill, route analysis, and so on. Then if you go to each panel, there are specific tools associated with that panel. So for instance, if I want to draw a pipe in Revit, then I must go and look for the systems menu. After having the systems menu, I will look for plumbing panel. Then after locating the plumbing panel, I will look for pipe. And then I'll click on pipe. Then I can draw pipe. As soon as you click on any command, observe two things. This options bar here, options bar, becomes activated, giving you options related to the tool you clicked on. And you can, for instance, I clicked on a pipe. So I can check out the diameter of the pipe I want. I can check the middle elevation of the pipe that I want before I draw the pipe. If I go to architecture, and then I click on rather wall, and click on wall architecture, the options bar will update to give me tools that is specifically related to a wall. Like for instance, the height or the depth of the wall, the level you want to constrain it to, the location of the wall, whether it is on the center line, core center line, finish face exterior, finish face interior. You have to be using all these tools. If you are not using them, please start exploring them. If you get challenges with them and you don't understand them, let me know. I will assist you. We have chains, we have offset, we have radius, we have everything. So when you do these options, before you start drawing the wall, if you draw the wall and you don't edit those options and you come back and you select the wall again, when you select the wall, the options doesn't come again for you to edit. But if you want to be able to edit the wall, that is where the properties palette comes in. So you right click the wall and then you choose what? Properties. If you choose properties, then the properties palette will open. When you select the wall, anything about the wall, you can edit it here. From constraints to cross-section definition to structural dimensions, identity data, facing, IC parameters, and if you even click on edit type, there are still more things you can edit about the wall, the construction, the graphics, materials and finishes, analytical properties, identity data, IFC parameters. If you take each of them, like say identity data, it gives you specific information that you can add. Type image, keynote, model, manufacturer, type document. Please, the input you will make here and here and here and here is what defines your Revit model. The more information you input into your Revit model, the more useful it is. If your model does not contain any information, you do not make good use of your properties palette and your type properties palette and input information, you can only model a 3D model with no information. That is where you create a 3D model, you add a room. When you add a room to it, you can annotate the room in plan, in section, in everywhere, in reflected ceiling plan. But if you don't add the room, then it means that you'll be compelled to use text to label your rooms. And using text to label your rooms doesn't make sense in Revit. And I know some people who use Revit and still use text to label their rooms. When you use the rooms, you can do nice color layout, color fill layout for each room or each space. If you don't use the room, you might be compelled to use filled regions when you want to do colorful presentation. And that route can be very, very slippery. So anytime you are working in Revit, please get very, very comfortable with this properties palette and then this type properties palette for any element. Any element. If you take walls, understand the properties there, and then understand the type properties and how to work with them. If you are unable to get comfortable with this properties palette and then the type properties here, then it means you still don't understand the concept of Revit. So please, this properties palette must always be open when you are working. When by mistake you close it and you can't find it, keyboard shortcut Control-1 will open it for you. Keyboard shortcut Control-1 will close it for you. Or you go to the view menu here, view menu at the top here. Look for Windows panel. Under Windows panel, we have user interface. Under user interface, if you go through the list, you see that there's a properties here. So you can check it and then the properties will come back. You can also go to the user interface, uncheck it, then the properties will go off. But always make sure that your properties palette is open. If you select a wall, a window, a text, a title block, a line, dimension, anything you select, 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, you can edit it in the what? Properties palette. If it is a schedule, you can edit it in the properties palette. If it's a legend, anything about it, you must edit them in the properties palette because that is how Revit is designed. If you don't edit stuff using the properties palette, then it means you are not doing parametric modeling properly. 2, you also need what you call the project browser. So I'll go to the view menu Go to user interface and then look for project browser here and then open it. So this opens the project browser. I call it the project command center. Project command center. That is the project browser. Everything about the project is found here. From views to legends, schedules and quantities, sheets, families, groups, and then Revit links. To be able to deliver Revit projects successfully, what it means is that you must know how to work with views. You must know how to work with legends. You must know how to work with schedule and quantities. You must know how to work with sheets. You must know how to work with families. You must know how to work with groups and Revit links. By now, you should know your level of Revit usage. How well are you using these 7 items? What control do you have over these 7 items? That determines your level of understanding in Revit. If you don't know how to work with Revit links, sit up. If you don't know how to work with Revit groups, sit up. If you don't know how to work with families, sit up. You must be very comfortable working with views. Let all these 7 items, I must repeat, that makes you a very good Revit user. The distinguishable feature between one Revit user and another Revit user is your ability to manage this project browser. Let me repeat. A project can be as simple as a small 2-bedroom residential scheme. A project can be as complex as a 5-story apartment building with 4 flats on each floor. 5 stories, 4 flats each. 4 times 5 is equal to what? 20 what? Flats. So if you are working on 20 flats and you are documenting these 20 flats on a project, it is not the same as documenting a 2-bedroom house. So if you cannot get comfortable with documenting a 2-bedroom house, forget about documenting a 20-story building. For instance, when the only printer that is available to the office is maybe an A3 printer, the office doesn't have an A2 printer, it doesn't have an A1 plotter, it only has an A3 printer, and you are using the Revit, and still work must go on, and the office is likely to get a project that is about, say, 10 stories, and you are the Revit guy in the office, and you need to prepare the sheets and then the views and then document them. You are going to cross over 300 sheets, about 400 sheets for that project, because you are going to do general arrangement views, you are going to do enlarged views, you are going to do assembly details, component details, and then rearrange these sheets. And documenting them is a task. So if documenting a 2-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom house, a 2-story building is a challenge to you, please sit down. You don't know when the 15-story building project will come. And when that project comes, you must be prepared to face the challenge. You understand? So please, managing this project browser is something else on another level. The kind of project you work on will shape your future usage and understanding of the project browser. The more complicated the projects you work on, the more opportunities the project browser presents itself. Please, assuming you are working in an office and you are working on, say, a hospital project. Look at the hospital project on a large land. In preparing the block plan, you look at the OPD area, you look at the lab area, you look at the what we call the maternity block, male ward, female ward, children's ward, staff quarters, everything. To document and manage such a project requires more than basic understanding of Revit. So we should prepare ourselves that if it is a tool that we have adopted and decided to use to work with, we must master it. What motivates me is I didn't design the software, somebody designed it. My duty is to use it to deliver work. And then when I say I cannot work, no, we should sit up and then anticipate that the bigger project is coming and prepare yourself for it. So that's about the project browser. Apart from that, this is the view. When you open any view, let us say level 2, in the current version of the Revit that I'm using, it opens on a different tab. The level 1 opens on a different tab. If I open the elevation south, the south elevation also opens on a different tab. So what it means is that you can open different views of the project at the same time and then work with them. The ones you want to work on, you just open it, ceiling plan, and then you work on it. If you want to work on the start elevation, you open the start elevation and then work on it. As simple as that. Now, with these things, you can then model. And if you want to model, you need one major thing to start. Every project that you start with, you must first create your levels. Currently, there are only 2 levels, level 1 and then level 2. This level, you give it a name. And this level 2, you give it a name. You must give the level elevation for each level. It is conscious, it's not deliberate because you are managing the project. Nobody is managing it for you. So you must consciously give the level a name and then elevation. Please don't confuse a level with a floor plan. Or don't confuse a level with a reflected ceiling plan. A level is not a floor plan. A level is not a reflected ceiling plan. A level is a level. It is a line with a symbol, a name, and elevation. You can customize this level and then redesign it. We will discuss that one later on, but a level is a level. And when you create a level, you can use view, plan views, and then create a floor plan, a reflected ceiling plan, a structural plan, a plan region, an area plan, using the levels that you have created. If there are no levels, you cannot create a floor plan. If there are no levels, you cannot create a reflected ceiling plan. So for every project that you are working on, you must create as many levels as required for the project. And then based upon the levels, you can create the appropriate floor plans associated with the with the levels. Please take note, when you are working on an architectural project, let's say level 1, you are going to do so many presentations of level 1 for different things. For instance, you can do level 1 sketch design layout. You can do level 1 furniture layout. You can do level 1 production drawing. You can do level 1 plumbing layout, level 1 electrical layout, level 1 furniture layout, level 1 finishes layout, level 1 decoration layout. The same floor level 1 plan. You are not going to model it twice. It's the same level. So what you can do is that you can take the level 1 and then make duplicate copies of them. So you can make a duplicate of level 1. So I'll take level 1, choose duplicate view, and then duplicate. When you choose duplicate, you can rename it and then call it level 1 sketch design, SD for short, for sketch design. So this level 1 sketch design and this level 1 with that sketch design is the same floor plan. The 3D contents are the same, the model contents are the same, but only that what I am going to display in level 1 and how I am going to display it in level 2 are going to be different, but it is the same model. So within one level 1, I can decide to show something. Within another same view in level 1, I can decide not to show something. So for instance, in one drawing, I might hide all the furniture and then show only the walls and then the windows and then add dimensions to them. That is the one that is accepted. I can duplicate another view and show only the what? Furniture. I can duplicate another view and show only the what? Plumbing. I can duplicate another view and do anything that you want to do. Duplication of views in Revit is normal because for any view, you can do so many different representations of them, be it 2D view or 3D view. So if you do a 3D view, for instance, let me say I have a 3D view. By default, I don't have one. Let me create one. If I create a 3D view like this one, it is showing as a hidden line projection. I can take this 3D view, make a duplicate copy of it. Then I get the same 3D view. I'll take the levels, hide in view. It is hidden. Then the elements will be hidden. I want to shade it. Then I can shade it in view. It's shaded. It is the same wall here. If I select it, the length, the height, the materials, the structure, everything about this wall is the same thing here in this wall. There's no difference. Only that the representation here or the presentation here is different from the presentation here. And you can create as many 3D views as you want, being it perspective, being it isometric, being it camera view, anything, you can do that. Any question?
Mankind,
Yes, sir.
when you were duplicating, I noticed there was another type of duplicate
I can hear
below.
you.
When you were duplicating,
Uh-huh.
I noticed a function duplicate had another duplicate under it called duplicate with detailing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
If you look at the detailing, the duplicate, there are 3 of them. Have you
Yeah.
seen?
Yeah.
We have the normal duplicate. We have duplicate with detailing. Then we have duplicate as a dependent. If you choose the first one, duplicate, it only makes a copy of the 3D element. A copy of only 3D element. Anything that is 2-dimensional is not duplicated. It's only the 3D. So if you have a view that you've already added annotation to them, dimensions, room name, room titles, all those things, if you have them and you do duplicate, all those annotations to the contents will not come with the duplicates. Are you clear?
Yeah.
Now, if you choose duplicate with detailing, then to make exact copy of the view you are making, including all the annotations that you've already done there. So if you've already added dimensions, field regions, hatch patterns, annotations, text, and all those things, when you choose duplicate with detailing, then it will come available with it so that you get exact copy of the duplicate.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
Is that Godwin?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, fine. Then the
Yeah.
last one, duplicate as a dependent. Duplicate as a dependent. At times in some situations, when you are challenged with the sheet size and your project is big and you want to present the project maybe in 1 in 100, but if you do 1 in 100, it will not fit on maybe your sheet, A3 sheet, and you are not ready and the office is maybe not prepared to go to A2 sheet. What you have is A3. Then what it means that you have to divide the view into different parts. You can divide it into 2, so I can fit on A3. Or you can divide the view into 4 parts, so I can fit on A3. So you can take each part and then do it in 1 in 100 and then put it on A3. Then in that case, that is when the duplicate as a dependent comes in. So if you want to put different aspects of the view on the sheet, then you can create, if you want to divide it into 2, then you can create 2 dependent views one for the left, one for the right, one for the top, or one for the bottom, so that you can get two dependents. Then you can put those dependent views on different on different sheets. And because they are dependent views, any changes that you make on the main view, it will reflect on the what? Dependent views, including the annotation and then detailing and the 3D content. Am I clear?
Yes, I'm clear.
Please, who has used duplicate and duplicate detailing, the two of them before?
So I've used it.
Do you have any challenges?
No, sir.
What about duplicate as a dependent?
Oh, so that one I've not used it before.
Please, who has used duplicate as a dependent before? Some of these things, you don't have to let somebody tell you. It's a tool there. Take your time and then explore them as and when they become necessary, okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I use a duplicate with detailing, but if I duplicate and I'm doing changes here, it affects the other one too, which I don't want to affect. But so I don't know how to go about it.
What changes did you do that it affected the other one?
Example, if I want to move one door or something like that, it will affect the duplicate one too. Which if I want to keep that one and it is here.
Please.
That's
the model is one. Any change you make in 3D, changing a wall, changing a door, changing furniture, editing slab, editing stair, roof, fascia, any change you do in any view will affect another view.
So me, I thought if I duplicate, it will not affect it.
No, if you duplicate, it will affect. It's the same model, but only that the duplicate, you are doing different representation, different presentation. So we normally use the duplicate to do maybe sketch design, working drawing, plumbing layout, electrical layout. So if you want to do different representations of the views, that's when you duplicate. For instance, if you want to show a sketch design, one with realistic materials, then you can duplicate the front elevation, show it with realistic materials. But if you want to do hidden line for working drawings, then you duplicate it again and then change it. The walls, the columns, the windows, everything will be the same. But it's only the presentation that changes. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, the next thing that you can do is that you can, when you model, at least we all know how to model walls.
Yes.
We know how to attach elements to walls like doors, windows,
Yes,
air
sir.
conditioners, switches. So all the wall-hosted elements, we've explored most of them. We all know how to work with floor. We all know how to work with roof.
No, sir.
Who said no, sir?
Mankind, it is me.
Who?
Dixon.
Dixon.
Yes, sir.
I can't see. Where are you?
I'm here.
You don't know how to work with roof.
Do you know something?
What challenge do you have?
Hey, I've covered my thing. The issue is that Mishiasi. We would Mishiasi.
So you've no practice.
Yes, yeah.
Huh?
After you break, I couldn't continue. Mishiasi. Prodigal son, Masayaba.
But this one, there's not a very tangible excuse. So if you go, when you go for MAPE, if you don't do follow up, will you get a girlfriend?
Sir.
Sir.
Any
Yes.
Say what he's saying is good, it's true. But me, the roof, I can do the roof, but you did not teach us how to do the ridge cap and the fisher board.
Yes, we will resolve it.
Okay.
Any challenge that you have with any object, please note it. From tomorrow onwards, we can resolve them.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
So we go over roof again.
With
What
the
about
fisher
stairs?
board. So
What
you
about
did not
stairs?
teach. You did not teach us stairs.
We did not do stairs.
Yes, we don't do stairs.
We didn't do railings, so we did railings.
We did relays. We did
We did
relays, but we
relays.
don't do this on the porch, but the stairs
So
we
the
did not.
stairs, yeah. So we have to create
Yeah.
stairs also.
In the building, yeah.
What about ceilings?
No.
Do you have issues with ceiling?
I said, I have issue with ceiling.
Okay.
In section of ceiling, we do it not.
What issue do you have with ceiling? Is it about creating the ceiling, or what are the issues?
The creating of ceiling.
You
And
have
also the
issues there.
pellets and the rafter also we did once, but it's complicated. But as we have come back again, I know things will improve.
Pellets, how complicated are pellets? How complicated are rafters?
Oh, said
Pellets
they
are
are.
wooden members equally spaced. Rafters are wooden members equally spaced on the surface.
Say,
How
as you say,
complicated are they?
So as you say, we are going over. I know we'll brush through that one too, because me, for instance, it's a little bit complicated to me.
But you do construction, I am saying that don't use the word complicated, because pellets is not a complicated subject between us. You know pellets. If you are doing the roof, you know where you want to put your pellets. You know the spacing you want to give them. You know the size of the pellets. You know your rafters. You know the spacing between your rafters. You know the sizes of the rafters. That's what you need to know.
So I know everything, but in the drawing, a little bit. Well, as we are going through, we get.
And so I want you to take at least, how many projects have you worked on so far?
Me 2 or 3.
About 3.
Pick 3 or 4.
Pick one. Okay, and then let's take steps to finish that one.
Right.
So that you can print a work to be delivered.
Right. I hear.
So take one project, and then we will use that one project to fill all the potholes. When you understand it with that project, then go and try it on other projects.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
If you get issues, then bring it back again. Then we discuss it.
Yes, sir. Because yes, sir, you know that at first I've been calling at the back. I had a project. Which I tried the person I'm doing it, but in read some place I do elevation sheets and everything. I did everything, but the palings, the rafters, the fisher board, the ridge caps, and everything. But as we keep going, we'll go over it again, by all means.
So I beg, make up your mind that those things you should be able to do them. And you shouldn't assume them to be too complicated. I beg, if you understand its construction, it shouldn't be an issue for us. Okay?
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Okay. Any question again? Mr. Godwin.
Yes, mankind.
Please, I beg you, have you tried your hands on a project?
Yeah, but it's just architecture.
I can't hear you well.
Yeah, it's just architecture, but I wanted to try the MEP, but I
beg, give it a try. No matter how simple or no matter how simple is it. You have to take that bold step and then give it a try.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it is not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple, at least for the first time. But give it a try, mankind. I tried doing this. This was what I was able to do. This was the challenge I had. Then you move on from there. Because if you do not make the attempt, if you do not make the attempt and then you don't give it a try, you still you'll be at a standstill.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Any other issue? Now, so we also looked at sheets. Sheets. I said everything ended with a sheet. If I go to new sheet, I can select a title block, say A1. Then I have a new sheet. This sheet comes with a title block. Every sheet comes with a title block. You cannot work on a sheet without a title block. So you always get a title block. Do not confuse the sheets with the title block. Please, the sheet is totally different from the title block. If you open the sheet and you don't select the title block, you see that in the properties here, in the type selector, you see that there is a sheet here. This is a sheet. And you get the properties for the sheet, graphics, identity data, and then other. If you look at the graphics, we have properties. If you look at identity, sheet collection, sheet number, sheet name, approved by, designed by, checked by, drawn by, sheet issue date. Sheet appears in a sheet list. If you do a sheet list for your project, do you want that sheet to appear in the list? You can check it or uncheck it. Then there's revisions on sheet. That one's beyond the scope of this class. If there are revisions on the sheet, as you can see in these revisions here, you can then edit those revisions. These are sheet-specific information that you edit with regard to sheets. Now, when you select the title block, the name changes to A1 title block. And you realize that it will give you all the properties related to the word title block also. So don't confuse a title block with what? A sheet. 2, when you create a sheet, you are going to populate these sheets with views, legends, and schedules, always. So on every sheet, there can be one view. You drag it and you put it on the sheet. Or there can be 2 views. You drag it and put this on a sheet. So if you look at this sheet, there's view 1, then there's what? View 2. Each view comes with a view name, a scale, and then view number or detail number. If you go to this view also, there's a view name, a view scale, and a detail number. A sheet can have 1 or more views on it. If there are 1 or more views, you must name your views properly. You must also number your views also what? Properly, for proper coordination. Please, later on, I'll show you sample work, how it is done. But you must be very conscious of your sheet name, sheet number, sheet name, project number, project name, view number. They are all different. Every project has a number. Every project has a name. Every sheet has a number. Every sheet has a name. Every view has a number. Every view has a name. And in addition, every view has what? A scale. Every view comes with its own view settings. So when I open the level 2, each view comes with its own view controls, the scale, the detail level, Do you use detail levels well? Do you know when to use coarse, when to use medium, when to use fine, or all your views are medium, detail level, or all your views are fine? Please check it out. Use them. The graphic display options, wireframe, hidden line, shaded, consistent colors, textures, realistic. Do you use them? Sun settings. Do you apply proper sun settings to get proper sun orientations for your projects? Do you use them? View crop, show crop region, hide crop region, crop view, do not crop view. Do you use them? Are you comfortable with them? Do you have challenges with them? Reveal hidden elements. Do you use them? If you don't use them, please, these are the view controls. The earlier you master the view controls, the better it is for you. Nobody, I repeat, nobody will come and use them for you. You must use them. And when you have challenges, you bring it on board, then we discuss them. Every day we learn. So you should be asking yourself, do you use all these view controls? Please, all these view controls that you see at the bottom here, when you open any view, let's say level 2, and you don't select any object, so that you see it here as floor plan in the tile selector, all the properties are also found in the properties here. The scale is here, the display model is here, detail level is here, part visibility is here, detail number, rotation on sheet, visibility graphics override, graphic display options. If you scroll down all the way to the bottom here, view to sheet positioning, all these things. How comfortable are you with all these things? You must be comfortable with them as early as possible. If you are not comfortable with them, then you have so many challenges with them. Then you must question your Revit usage. If you go to edit type, you can create duplicate floor plans. Have you ever created a duplicate floor plan before? What did you use it for? Because I know just as you can duplicate windows and you can duplicate doors, you can also duplicate views, floor plan. So I can duplicate a floor plan. When I duplicate, I get floor plan 2. So this floor plan 2 and this floor plan 1 are not the same. The call out tag, reference level, view template, and all those things, you can control them. How well do you use them? Please, if you don't use them and you have a challenge with them, it will affect your project delivery. If you use them and you use them in your project, it will also affect your project delivery. And the earlier you master the tool and use them, the better it is, because if you don't master it, you will always be challenged. But if you master it, you always have control. So do you use these view settings? Do you use view template? If you go down, there's a tool here called view templates. If I click on this button, it will open view template. You've been using Revit for some time now. Do you use view templates? You don't. You do. If you don't, check yourself. Because if you don't use view template, then it means you are having some challenges somewhere. Are you okay? Any question on
Yes,
view?
sir.
Any question on views?
No, sir.
Any question
Hello,
on sheets?
hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a question, but it's not on views. It's on the architecture, the menu bar architecture. We have a component where we have the place a component and model in place. The there was a time I was okay. So let me generalize it. For instance, if I want to use model in place to
I will
model
speak out a
something.
bit. I can't hear you well.
Okay, please can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, but speak out a bit. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a situation where I want to model something like a ceiling cornice and make it behave as a ceiling cornice so that I'll have the information that I need. I don't know how it's going to be because I'm going to model it. So because you asked a question about whether we use ceiling and all that, and that is a challenge I had some time ago when I was trying to model a ceiling cornice.
So you have that project?
Yeah, it's not with me now.
Yes. Get the project available.
Come again. Okay.
Get the project available, maybe by our next meeting or next 2 meetings.
Okay.
If you don't have a project, I will assume you don't have. If you don't have a project, get a small project. Try to model it.
Okay.
Don't do anything complicated. Do something small. It can be single story, it can be 2-story.
Okay.
Just attempt to get that project finished. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
So the things that you want to implement on that project, you can use them in other projects.
Okay.
Then all the ideas that you think you have challenges with, maybe in your AutoCAD days or in other softwares, try and see how best you want to implement them. Then if you get the issue, then we can discuss them.
Okay.
Okay. I can extend the training for 1 month. Please, I can do that for the next 4 weeks. So that if anybody has any photos, even if you finish the tutorials, if anybody has any photos, you can arrange dates and then I can handle them for you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So I beg everybody should take a project. So at our next meeting, if you are raising a question, you share your screen with your with your project. Then the issue you are facing, we address them specifically on the project. I will not answer questions when you don't have a project working on, please.
Okay.
Are you clear?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear, sir.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's use this week. I'll suggest let's use this week. I'll not teach anything new. Okay. At our next meeting, we will take the project that everybody has worked on, and then we will go through and then see the issues and then the challenges that everybody is facing, and then address them square on. Okay. So that you can develop the confidence to work on it and then get it delivered and get some sheet printed out that at least I've done one project, I have 5 sheets, I have 10 sheets printed to PDF. That will give you the morale and then the motivation to start the next project. Any question? If there's no question, I suggest we close for the day. But if you have a question or any issue, you can bring it up. Or if you have a suggestion too, you can bring it up.
And no question for now.
Okay. Listen.
Yeah, I'm okay for
Yes,
now.
I'm here.
Any question, any suggestion?
Not really, but I'm so grateful that we are going back again to revamp everything.
Okay. Mr. Godwin,
Elmangain.
I beg, start a small project, no matter how small.
Okay. Okay, sure.
You understand?
Yes.
Even if it's a single room chamber and hall, start a single room chamber and hall. And then try to make the effort of drawing some ducts. Just make the attempt. I don't expect it to be successful, okay? But make the attempt and then try something. Whatever you have, whatever you can do, let us discuss it at our next meeting.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yes.
I beg everybody and his own problems, so but it's good we learn from other people also. So don't assume that somebody's problem should be your problem. Think of your own problem and then bring those up, then let's resolve them. Any question or any other contribution?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Okay. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Good. Please, at least one project, even if it is architectural one, fine. If it is structural one, if you can bring the same project, you have issues with structural, mechanical, or you can do all the systems. I don't have issues. Just bring them up. Okay.
All right.
Don't think of something that you want to finish and deliver. Everybody should set his or her own goals.
Okay.
So see you. Please, we are meeting on Wednesday, or can we meet every day? Or meet on Friday?
Let's do as we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then weekend we practice it.
So we meet when? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but I said thank you
sir.
so much. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much. Yeah. All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye.